Hey Team Amex, Coach MJ here. Thank you for joining me for this 35-minute glute camp workout. What you'll need today is a mat, a towel, and some water. Mostly everything, if not everything we're doing is total body weight movement. And the reason for that is because we're doing a high volume of work today. We're doing 20 seconds of work with a 10-second rest for 8 rounds, 2 exercises back to back. So it's a lot of volume. So you can either go body weight, or if you want, you can certainly add weights to the workout. I'm going strictly body weight today. I'm going to get the reps in, get the volume in, and focus on a little bit more of a burn. All right, so let's get started. From here, let's just take a nice deep breath in and exhale out. Deep breath in and exhale out. From here, we're just going to squat down. Our right hand's going to reach back and grab that right leg, and let's just lengthen up through that left arm, and then let's switch sides. If you need to hold on to something, because as you can see, I tend to be a little unstable. Let's continue to repeat that one more time on each side and to the opposite side. Good. From here, we're going to just scoop down, reach towards our toe with our toe up to stretch those hamstrings, and switch sides. And while you're doing this, just move through your breath. Good. Good. Let's stand nice and wide. Toes are forward. We're going to shift that weight over to the right side, really lengthening through that inner left thigh. Then let's switch sides. Nice and smooth. I want you to move a little slower than faster. Just move a little slower so those muscles can just gently lengthen into position. Good, and switch. Go back to center. Let's move into a squat position. From here, we're going to take a squat down. Chest is up. We're going to then plant our hand, extend our hips up, drop our hips, hands are up, and then stand up. Let's do that 2 more times. Squat down, chest is up, plant that whole foot on the floor. Plant those hands on the floor, go ahead and lengthen up through your hips, drop your head, release your head, hands are up, and stand up. Last time, squat it down. Good, fold over, lengthen up, release, hands are up, and stand up. All right, we're gonna move into some inchworms. Right, still moving through our movement prep here. So inchworm, you can bend your knees, or you can go ahead and fold over. Walk your hands out so that you're in a plank position. Shoulders are over your wrists, legs are nice and strong. From here, we're just gonna pike the hips back up like a down dog and walk our hands back to our toes and stand up. I like to let out a nice big exhale here. If you're someone that gets a little dizzy standing up, you don't have to come up. You can just stay down. All right, we're going to do this 5 times. Here we go. And you should really start to feel your heart rate elevating as you move through this. Good. Walk it down. Pause on that plank, nice and strong. Pike the hips. Walk those hands back to your toes and breathe. Fold it over. Walk it out into a plank. Nice and strong, pike those hips, walk it back up. And remember, this is your workout, so it's your pace. All right, you can also scale the movements. Maybe today you don't have 5 reps in you, but you may have 3 reps. So do 3 reps. Last one here. Pike it up. Nice job. All right, team, we got a lot to cover today. I want you to remember, again, your workout, do the best you can do during this time, all right? Get a little sip of water, and we'll talk about what the first circuit involves. So we've got 2 movements. We've got what's called a good morning, followed by your body weight squat. So from a side position, I'm just gonna bring my hands right behind my ears. This is a hip hinge movement. My feet are underneath my hips. I'm gonna reach my butt back to the wall. So I have a nice little flat back. From here, I'm gonna engage my glutes and stand up. Does that movement look familiar? Yes, that's your RDL. It's a hip hinge move. So those hips push back to the wall, butt cheeks on the mirror, and then you're gonna squeeze your glutes to come up. As many reps as we can do in 20 seconds. 10-second break between the reps, and then we have body weight squats. All right, team, I'm gonna get my timer ready for us. We're gonna get started. All right, 3, 2, 1. Good mornings. Here we go. Hips push back and squeeze up. Hips push back and squeeze up. Remember, we're pushing those hips back to the wall behind us. Our back is nice and flat at the bottom of this movement, as if we're trying to balance a glass of water on our back. Then we're gonna really squeeze those glutes to get back to that top position. And reps, all right? We're about to move into our squats. We've got 8 rounds. Here we go, number 2. Get ready. Squat it down, down and out, big squeeze. Again, I'm gonna perform today's workout with no weights, just moving through my body, all right? Gonna try to move a little quicker to get more reps in, but feel free to pick up some weights, all right? Medium to heavy, since this is a big workout, big glutes, big legs, all right? Round 1 is done. Here we go, back to those good mornings. Hands behind your head. We're pushing those hips back, big squeeze up. Good, hips back. We're on 3. Reach the hips back. Good. You should feel a stretch in those hamstrings as you go down. Like I always try to describe it like a rubber band stretching apart. Then you pop it up. Good. And release it. All right. Get ready for those body weight squats. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down and up. Now, I think it's nice to, when you don't have any weight, to counterbalance your body by reaching those hands out as you go down. This will really help to balance you at the bottom of the movement. Keeping that chest up, shoulders are back. Squeeze those glutes. Almost there. We're there. Rest. All right, team, round 5. Back to those good mornings. We get a nice little 30-second break between the rounds. Here we go. Hinge those hips. Big squeeze. Glass of water on your back. Don't spill it. Chest is up. I'm also looking for those butt cheeks on the wall behind you. Got a nice little sweat. So see those prints on the wall. Rest. All right, team. Bottom of this set here. Body weight squats. Getting ready to start. Here we go. Let's squat it down. 20 seconds. And breathe. Listen. This type of workout is a great vacation travel workout because you don't need any equipment. You can just move through your body, right? And rest. Last round, 30-second break, then we'll move to the next 2 movements. All right, let's get ready. Good morning. Hips push back, squeeze it up. Hips push back, nice flat back. And squeeze. Why do they call these good mornings? I don't know. I don't know. That thought just came to mind here. Get one more in and rest. Last set of those squats. Get ready for it. Remember, we got a nice little break after this. 30 seconds, and I'll show you the next 2 movements. Here we go. Squat it down. Now, I'm going pretty deep into the squat. You don't have to go as low as I'm going. That's all going to be dependent on your mobility through your hips and your ankles, all right? So go for it as far down as you can with good, proper form. And rest, team. We got 30 seconds of rest. Grab some water, and I'll talk about the next 2 movements, all right? So it's actually 40 seconds if we count that 10-second transition. So our next movement is alternating lateral lunges. So feet are together, toes stay forward. We're gonna step out to one side, sink into the lunge, power up, and then switch to the opposite side. That's gonna then be followed by sumo squats. Toes out, knees out, chest is out. All right, team, here we go. 20 seconds, lateral lunges. That opposite leg stays nice and long. As you step, keep those toes facing forward. That whole foot plants, and you really push off that bent knee. Like you're sitting back. Squeeze one more in there. Nice job. Sumos. Another thing I like about these body weight movements, high volume, you're getting that heart rate up. Let's work. Right. So you're moving while you don't have any weights. That heart is pumping. All right. Blood is flowing. Trying to get you from one move to next, one rep to next. All right. So remember, toes are out. So our knees are driving out in the same direction. And rest. Round 3 coming up. Back to those lateral lunges. I'm going to move to my left first. All right, let's get ready for it. Toes stay forward. Let's work. Good. Stepping wide. Keeping that stabilizing leg nice and long as you sit back into that hip. All right, sit back like you got a chair back there. I like to use my arms. Helps to power me up. And rest. Sumo squats. Round 4. Toes out, chest is up. Let's keep that back nice and tall. Sit it down. Good. And squeeze. Now, some people got an extreme turnout of the toes. You don't need such an extreme turnout. All right. What's important is that the knees are in the same direction as your toes. You don't want your knees rolling inward as you go down, right? We want to push them out and rest so that you're engaging those inner thigh muscles and those big glute muscles. Back to those lateral lunges. Here we go. And push. We're on 5, guys. 3 more to go. And push. Now, this is a glute camp class. Think about those glutes as you sit down. Squeeze up through them, right? That's your powerhouse. All right. And rest. Sumos. Toes out. Chest is out. We got a 40-second break coming up in about another minute. Here we go. Down and out. Keep that chest up. So if you chose to use weights, you can hold the weight at the center. You can also hold it up here like a goblet position. Totally up to you. Drive the knees out. Squeeze those inner thighs. And rest. All right. Last set. Lateral lunges. Remember, we're alternating. I'm moving to my right first. Let's get it. And push. Sit it down. Drive it up. We got a rest coming up, so let's get through this. Push off. Reset. Switch sides. Try to keep moving. And rest. Last set. Sumo squats. 40-second rest coming up. I'll tell you what the next 2 movements are. All right, here we go. Sumos, down and up. My back is nice and tall here. This is why I'm turned to the side. All right, I want you to see that I'm not rolling down. Keeping my chest up, my shoulders back and down. Squeezing my glutes, squeezing my inner thighs. And rest, team. Grab some water. We got our circuit 3 coming up. Whew. If you need to dab that sweat, make sure you're dabbing, okay? Next to movement. Now we're moving into alternating curtsy lunges, right? So your curtsy lunges, you're bowing. Dip it down like you just finished your Broadway debut. And that's gonna be followed by a squat, alternating leg raises each side. All right, let's get ready. Curtsy, here we go. Bow to the audience. So in demonstrating these, I just like to add my arms. This way you really feel like you're taking that ballerina bow. That is your movement, all right? Sink that back knee down and rest. All right, we got squat, alternating leg raises. Let's lead with those heels. Let's not kick it. Here we go. It's a squat, heel raise. Now, while you're doing this, you can see my range of motion is short. because I got my toe facing down and I'm leading with my heel. My glutes are working. My toe's not up and I'm not kicking, right? I don't want to kick. I want to work those glutes. Yes. And breathe. And rest. So round 3, I was talking about my little runny nose. It's allergies. Constantly, when I teach, everything just starts to open up on me. So do you deal with that? I was talking to one of our head performance coaches. He's like, you got to get some allergy medicine. I have it. I use it, but it doesn't eliminate the nose strip. And rest. All right, squat leg raises. I'm lifting my left leg first. Conscious about that with intention, right? I feel like when you're on autopilot and you just do movements automatically without thinking, your brain is just used to it. But when you set your intention to shake things up, you fire off more neurons, right? So I'm getting older, trying to stay young and rest. So intentionally trying to shake it up. All right, guys, round 5. Get ready. Let's get our roses. Here we go. Whew, that's right. I'll give you a little side view of this movement so you can see how I'm sinking down. Yeah. I don't put down my back heel. I stay on that toe. Get one more in and rest. Whew. Again, I'm gonna lift my left leg. Here we go, squat and raise. Sit in that squat. Maybe you'll play around with the position of your squat. A narrow squat, right? Makes it a little bit more challenging to move through the hips and the ankles, but it helps to work those outer thighs as well, outer glute area. And rest. Last round, team. 40-second break, and then we're coming down to the floor. So get your mats ready. All right, here we go, curtsy. Woo. And breathe. A lot of work, short amount of time. All right. That's how you get those reps in. Short on time, work with the timer. Right? And rest. And do as much as you can within that short amount of time. A little rest. All right, squat leg raises, here we go. Autopilot, see? I lift with that right leg without thinking. Squat and raise. Maybe you'll try a wider squat stance. Play with it a little bit. That's it. And rest. All right, team. We're coming down to the floor. Grab your mat. Get a little sip of water. We got 30 seconds. We got glute bridges coming up. If you like, you can add a weight to your hip. Again, it's not necessary. All right. So we're gonna plant our feet in line with our hips, our hands on the floor. And when we lift up through those glute bridges, we're squeezing our glutes and then settle down. Here we go, 20 seconds. Make sure it's the glutes doing the work. You're like trying to crack a walnut, right? We got a pillar bridge following this glute bridge, right? We're gonna use that plank, pillar bridge, as a playground and rest. And what I mean by that is vary it. You know, if you're someone that's been taking my class, you know you have a bunch of different options. So here we are, pillar position. I'm gonna start my first set like this. It's a great way just to set up the position. Shoulders are over your elbows, belly button is pulling in, squeeze those glutes, lift those kneecaps to your hips, drive back to your heels. We're almost there. And breathe and release it. Flip it back over, glute bridges. All right, my next pillar bridge, I'm gonna play around a little bit. All right, squeeze up. So now first set of glute bridges, I have my foot flat. I'm gonna lift my toes up and just really drive through my heels as I squeeze my butt to lift. For some, you may feel your hamstrings activate more. So that's why I really like to do a variety. Get one more in and squeeze with toes up and toes down. All right, team, let's set that pillow bridge. Shoulders over the elbow. Here we go. You can settle here, or you can follow along with me and do some seesaws as I rock forward and back on my toes and then push back to my heels. Keeping my hips in line with my shoulders. I don't want them piking up or sinking down. Get one more in and rest. Flip it over. Glute bridges. Let's get it. Whew. Here we go. Maybe you want to hold that glute bridge at the top a little longer, right? Big squeeze and then drop it down. Big squeeze and then drop it down. As a matter of fact, I'm going to squeeze mine until the bell beeps. Keep squeezing tighter, trying to crack that walnut and release it. All right. We're going back to those pillow bridge. I'll try something different. All right. I'm going to alternate a leg lift. So I'm here. I'm going to just lift my right leg, keep my hips settled with my shoulder, and I'll switch, right? It's a great way to also challenge that stability, your core, your back stabilization. And rest. All right, team, round 7. Whew, we're getting that work in. We're done with these glute bridges. How are you going to show up for them? Are you going to hold that position? Huh? You're going to lift up. You can even move into a single leg or glute marches. We only got 20 seconds. Big squeeze. I'm going to hold up this last one while I squeeze tighter. While I'm squeezing my glutes, I'm also pulling my belly button in and release it. All right. Last set of those pillow bridges. Pick a movement if you've been varying with it. I'm going back to the standard position. All right. I'm going to engage my hands. So I'm going to make a fist. I'm going to press my palms down, push my elbows down, pull my belly button and squeeze my glutes super tight, lift my kneecaps up, drive back into my heels, really generate some tension and release it. Whew. All right, team. We're moving on. We got seated rotations coming up, followed by a reverse curl. All right, if you need to take a longer rest period, feel free to do so. Grab a little sip of water. So, seated rotation. We're seated on our bum. We're creating 45-degree angle between our ankle, our knee, and our hip. And we're just rotating that torso side to side. All right, here we go. Again, this is another opportunity to play around with the speed of the movement. All right. If you find that leaning back is a little bit too challenging, you can sit up tall, but make sure that back is nice and straight. You don't want to have rounded shoulders. Lift that chest and rest. All right, team, we're rolling it back. We got reverse curls. We're pulling those knees into our chest and then tapping those toes out. Here we go. Now, a modification for this can be one leg at a time. All right, you can lift one knee at a time, like you're marching in place. Right, what I want you to focus on, though, is the out position of this movement. Don't allow your body to bounce off the floor. And rest. Round 3, seated rotations. I'm going to pick up a foam roller just to add a little bit more depth to the movement. Here, I'm keeping my chest lifted. I've created a V through my shoulders, my hip, and my knee. All right, it's a V, not a U. That's a great way to envision what the proper position is, even if you're tall. All right, and rest. Reverse curls, team. Hands to the side. Squeeze those knees together. Let's lift those hips up. Nice control. Little tap out on those toes. hips lift. Nice control, so we're not bouncing. We're not bouncing. I want you to really control this movement. Allow your abdominals to lift those hips off the floor. And rest. All right, team, we're almost there. Let's get to that seated rotation. Again, you can add weights to this. Here we go. One thing I want you to also focus on here is not letting those hips rock. All right, let's keep it nice and steady. Just the torso. Your shoulders are moving along with the torso. They're not moving ahead of it. Nice control. And we're breathing. And rest. Reverse curls. What I like about using the foam roller is that it allows me to tap the tip of it down without compromising my movement. So it gives me a little bit more space. Sometimes when we're thinking about tapping down with our hands, we begin to roll our shoulders. Almost there, team. And rest. Round 7, last set of those seated rotations. Get ready for it. Whew. Yeah, you want to level this up? Maybe you'll lift your legs up. That's another great way to challenge this position, is elevated legs. Again, not rocking. Sometimes you'll see people rocking, staying nice and steady. Stabilize those hips, stabilize the back. Keep the chest out. The hips get some added work there trying to keep those legs off the floor. All right, here we go. Last set here, reverse curls. Let's do it. Team, we're at the end of our workout. Nice job today. Way to move through it. All right. Almost there. We have very minimal rest, lots of work, lots of movement. And rest. Let's go ahead and take a big inhale. Let's pull those knees into our chest. You can rock side to side. I like to do that because it's like massaging my back out. Now we're going to roll all the way to the left side, and then we're going to put our legs in the proper position. So we want a 90-90 position. So if you put your heels into your bum or your knees down, I want you to pull your knees so that they're in line with your hips, and then pull your heels away from your butt so that your heels are in line with your knee. From here, let's bring that right arm on top. We're gonna just move into some spinal rotation. So squeeze those knees nice and tight, don't let them separate. Take a big inhale, reach the arm way out, thumb is up, and slowly open up. Use your breath. Squeeze those knees tighter. I get to a certain position and my knees wanna slide away. I'm not gonna allow that to happen. The goal is not necessarily to touch that top shoulder down. Let's repeat that one more time. The goal is just to have some mobility through your spine, just to rotate through your spine. If you're able to touch the shoulders to the ground, kudos to you. But that's not the ultimate goal, okay? Just want to get some movement through the spine. If your head gets tight, you can certainly put a pillow if you're at home, or a block underneath your head, even a foam roller fit. Good, let's switch sides. Opposite side. Remember, create that 90-degree. Stack that ankle, top arm. Take a big inhale. Reach the left arm way out. Squeeze those knees tight as you open up that top arm. I love this movement. First thing in the morning, it's what wakes my body up. I've been dealing with some back issues for a couple years now. I find that when I do these movements every morning, I feel less pain or less discomfort. Nice. Kind of push yourself up. We're going to get into a child's pose position. So I'm going to just pull my towel up. So we're going to rest our forehead. Let's bring our toes together, knees apart, and our arms are out in front of us. We're just going to reach those hips back down towards our heel, dropping our forehead to the floor. Take a big inhale and exhale. Inhale And exhale, come on up in a tabletop position. We're gonna do a cat-cow position. Big inhale, push the pelvic back. Really reach the pelvic back while you gaze up. And then exhale, round up nice and high into that scary cat, keeping your shoulders over your wrist. So you're just moving that pelvic area, not that upper body. Roll it back, round it up. One more time, roll it back. And roll it up. From here, we're gonna move into a down dog position. So toes are already tucked. When you lift the knees and then begin to extend the hips towards the ceiling, you're reaching your armpits towards your thighs. You're reaching your heels towards the ground. Nice little hamstring stretch here. And breathe. From here, I want you to pull your belly button into your spine, come up onto your toes, and I want you to drop both heels to one side for a nice side body stretch. Inhale, lift up on your toes, reset if you need to, and repeat to the opposite side. Ooh, this is such a big movement on your lats. It feels really good. Back to the center. Let's come into a plank, release the knee, gotta reach the hips back. We're gonna take our right arm and thread it underneath that left arm while we drop our right ear down. So I created a little bit more time to get a little bit more mobility and stretching for our cool down. Good. We got one more stretch, team. Let's plant that right foot forward so we're in a half kneeling position. We're gonna squeeze the glutes and kind of rock the hip forward. Nice little hip flexor stretch here. It was important for me to build in this time for you because we did a lot of volume today. Volume is the amount of reps that you're doing, right? I didn't count my reps, but maybe if you counted your reps, maybe you did 200-300 reps today, you know? So we want to make sure that we're bringing our body back to a nice sort of recovery state. Good. From here, tuck that back toe. Let's stand all the way up. Let's take a nice deep inhale in and exhale out. Team Amex, Coach MJ here. Thank you for joining me for